me to stand in this pose, or this pose.
Oh, I like that one.
It's reading with Ruby. It's reading with Ruby.
I think you can tell everyone the name of the story that we're reading today.
Hopsy.
You're just making stuff up. What letter's that?
I don't know what that letter is.
Oh, it's a little, you know what? It is in script, you're right. It's in cursive, and you haven't really learned how to read cursive letters yet. This is all, that's an L, almost. Almost.
Almost anything.
Almost anything. Do you remember what the T and the H together says?
This book, today's book, is called Almost Anything.
Yes, this is by Sophie Hen. And we have read a book.
Sophie Hen?
Yes, we've read a book by Sophie Hen before. Do you remember when we read Edie?
Yeah.
Edie was a very cute book. So let's see what Sophie's got in store for us today. You ready? It was the sort of day for doing almost anything, and everyone was busy with this and that. Everyone except George. George didn't think he could do this or that, so George did nothing. George is just sitting there.
Being himself.
Yeah, he's sitting there on the tree stump watching all his friends do things. There are people walking. There's a mouse crocheting. I don't know what that is. There's another animal painting. Squirrel up in a tree reading a book. There's a badger roller skating, or an otter. Badger or an otter? Somebody, I don't know.
A badger is like that.
Oh, that's the badger. Okay, you're right. Okay. So the badger
is just having a stroll.
Is just having a stroll, and the otter is
roller skating.
There's some birds playing chess, bear reading the newspaper, hedgehog maybe? Is that a hedgehog we think? Swinging, and a fox about to go fly a kite. And what's George doing?
Nothing.
Hello, George, said Otter. And what are you up to? Oh, nothing, said George. Well, why don't you come and do some painting with me, said Otter. That looks good, said George, but I can't paint. Come and do some dancing with us then, said Hedgehog. Oh, I got it right, it was a hedgehog. That does sound fun, said George, but I can't dance. Oops. Then Badger asked George, you were right, it is Badger. Badger asked George if he might like to play Skittles. Looks like bowling. That does look smashing, said George. Only I can't play Skittles. You could help me fly my kite, said Fox. Or try a spot of roller skating, said Beaver. Did I say beaver?
No.
What did I call it? An otter?
Yeah.
Well, it's a beaver. I'd love to, but I can't, said George rather sadly. My paws are too fumbly for flying kites, and I can't do roller skating. I'm a little bit wobbly. So George did nothing. Does that sound like a fun day that George is having?
No, not at all.
Not at all. Why do you think he's saying he can't? He can't do anything.
Because he doesn't think so.
He doesn't think he can. He doesn't have the confidence, maybe, or the courage. Now Bear, who had watched all of this, was as smart as she was old, and she was very old. She took a sheet of paper, folded it once, twice, and 3 times more. "George," said Bear, "come over here. I have something for you." "For me?" asked George. "For you," said Bear as she handed him a small paper hat. "It's magic." "Really?" asked George. Should we put on your magic hat?
No.
Your magic crown? "Really?" asked George. "Really," said Bear. "If you wear this hat, I am quite sure you will be able to do almost anything, even roller skating." "But Bear, I can't." "You can, George," said Bear. "Just pop the hat on." What do you think about that hat? Do you think it's a magic hat?
No.
What do you think? What do you think's happening? What's Bear doing?
Helping him.
Yeah. I think she's giving him the confidence. So she's telling him that it's magic, and maybe if he thinks it's magic, it'll give him the courage and the confidence to do the things he's afraid to do.
He's leaning back. He can't lean back.
When what?
When he's roller skating.
Oh, how did you learn that? You have to lean forward, right? Is it like skiing? You have to lean forward?
Yeah.
So George did pop the hat on and the roller skates, and off he went. Whoa, whoa, whoa! "Oh, Bear," cried George, "you said if I wore the magic hat I could do almost anything. But I can't. I'm just too wobbly." "Of course you can," said Bear. "You just need to give the magic a chance. Have another go, George." So George gave the magic a chance, and he had another go. And after a time, he found he was roller skating. "Hooray! The magic hat is working," said George. "I wonder what else it can do." George dared to try a little dancing, and in no time at all, he found that his footwork was quite fancy indeed. "Well, how about that?" said George. "I can dance." What do you think?
Great.
Great. Can you dance? Yeah.
Of course I can.
George leapt and twirled and jigged until his feet felt weary. And then he tried a spot of painting. "Hurrah!" said George. "I can paint." After all that, George thought he might try a little bit of reading. "Look, Bear, look at me, I'm reading," said George. "Oh, thank you, Bear. I love my magic hat." And just like that, George found he was extremely busy doing this and that and more besides. Until, what's gonna happen? You read that. What does that say?
No!
Good girl, cried George. "Oh, Bear, the hat is lost. The magic is gone. And now I can't do almost anything." "Oh boy, oh boy."
Oh Oh my golly gosh.
Oh boy. Don't worry, said Bear. The hat may be lost, but the magic isn't gone. You see, George, that hat was only folded up paper. The magic, that came from you. I'm magic? Asked George. You are, said Bear. Just think of all those wonderful things you did. With and without the hat. George, when you give your magic a chance, you can do almost anything. I can, said George. I can. So what happened there? Bear gave George a hat and said it was a magic hat because she knew that if George just believed a little bit, then he would have the courage to do things that he was afraid of, right?
Yeah.
So Bear helped George to feel empowered, to feel like he could do things. All he had to do was believe in himself. And once George knew this, he tried ever so hard to always give his magic a chance, even when he was a little wobbly. Do you give your magic a chance?
Yeah.
And I think what is very important in this book is that Bear was a very good friend to George, and Bear gave George the feeling that he could do things that he didn't think he could. And that's what friends are really good for. And that's the only types of friends we should have, right? The types that encourage us to do the things that we think we can't do. What do you think about that? Are you a good friend to your friends?
Yeah.
Do you encourage them to do things that they don't think they can do?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes. Is there anything that you were afraid of doing, or you were afraid of, but then you
I was afraid of when I was like 2.
Mm-hmm.
I was like afraid of the dark.
Were
No,
you?
I'm not.
Really? So you tapped into your magic, right? And what did your magic help you realize?
That the dark is just like the light, but just no light.
Yeah, it's if you're in a room, say you're in your bedroom and it's dark, or it's nighttime, it's the same bedroom, just without light. And if you're not afraid of it in the day, then you shouldn't have to be afraid of it in the night, right?
Yeah.
So did you like that book, Almost Anything?
Yeah.
Yeah, was that nice? What did that book teach you? What's something you learned while we read that book?
I think I can roller skate by myself now.
You think? Do you need a magic hat to do it? No, you need a magic what?
In myself.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you everyone for watching almost anything from Reading with Ruby. Bye bye.
Bye. See ya.
Hi everyone. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share with all your friends, and also we hope you listen to everything we say, and then when I finish, you can if you like, you can just run away if you like it first. If you don't like it, then I love it. Just to share.